I come from a multicultural family. In America, my mother, Ibok Sun, was adopted into the United States after the Korean War, after she was orphaned by my American grandparents, Perry and Mildred O'Neill. They raised my mother and myself as if we were their own family. Growing up in a small rural area of the United States gave me a first-hand perspective into the microcosm that is America, to be more specific, small-town America. Racism in the United States has always been and is still a deep-rooted problem. For me, I was bullied and teased for my appearance, told to go back to my country, and most hurtful of all, insulted vicariously through my mother for her mental condition. It was hard not to feel like I was fundamentally different and not in a good way. I sought refuge and solace in my family, my studies, and music. Learning to play the violin at a young age, in music I found a place where I belonged. There were no judgments, misunderstandings, or hate, just pure communication. No matter how I was feeling, once I closed my eyes and I started making music, I could lose myself and escape. Within this year, I am witnessing a similar situation that I faced as a child during this pandemic. Harsh rhetoric, discrimination, and hate crimes against Asians have skyrocketed across the globe. For some, Asians are to blame for the coronavirus. Rather than viewing science, some have turned to hysteria and unsubstantiated claims. Instead of uniting and coming up with a global solution to the virus, we have fractured, devolving into blame and rage. Higher infection rates, and all at a horrific human cost. As a young man and aspiring musician from limited means, there were many moments of my life that I lived in great doubt, where the risk of complete failure was ever present. The worldwide global music community is facing a similar challenge today. Perched at the top of a dangerous precipice, frozen with severe restrictions and paralyzing parameters, some of our most beloved institutions are facing the existential crisis of our time, and we run the risk of losing even more of our beloved art institutions that have served and inspired countless generations. For my fellow artists, I would ask of you, what can you do for your audience during this challenging time when our prescribed way of communicating has been forbidden? How can we keep music relevant, powerful, and perhaps most importantly, for everyone to enjoy? How can we keep making music while being silenced? And for our beloved, dear audience, I would ask for all of those moments that your souls were comforted, spirits lifted, imaginations set free. What can you do now to support those artists whom have shown you a glimpse of the sublime? Can you imagine your life without music? There is a real possibility that some of the artists that you cherish and enjoy might not make it through this crisis. So what do the coronavirus and music have in common? Well, one commonality is that both affirm the interconnectedness of all beings, our inextricable bonds to one another. We are a global community, and what affects one of us affects all of us. Music is our universal language, and COVID is our shared burden. How will we overcome this virus together? In a regular season, post or pre-COVID, we would have toured the world with over 80 performances a year, often several months abroad to musical capitals of Europe and Asia. What happened in reality is when I first joined the quartet this June, my debut with the quartet was canceled, and important performances for venues such as Lincoln Center were immediately canceled. Our month-long tour of Australia was immediately disposed of. Well, the solution that we've come up with as a quartet is live stream performances. Audiences can virtually attend our concerts from the safety of their own home with personalized Q&A sessions, in-depth interviews, close-up camera angles, and superior audio quality. And it's been a wonderful gift to all of our audiences worldwide to have been able to experience our quartet in a new and innovative way. Another bright spot upon returning to the United States this summer was my return to academia. It has been a tremendous challenge to have online, in-person teaching this semester, which has had very, very many challenges, but has been deeply, deeply rewarding. While the experience has been very challenging at this time, the ability to work with music students is just beyond, and I'm so grateful. During this challenging time, I live with the hope that artists around the world will find a way to share their music no matter what obstacles they may face. Technology has made sharing music possible anywhere in the world. I ask all musicians to do their best to try and find their own unique way to share their music and their important gifts with their audience. Cataclysm and catastrophe are part of the human condition. As artists, innovators, and leaders, we must evolve or dissolve. Let us all take this moment to reaffirm the importance and power of music. Music is eternal, and its pure and potent message will always speak to people. We all need art.